Hi there, it's Phil Hall of Mortgage News Network here at the Mortgage Bankers Association's annual convention. Sitting to my left is Greg Schroeder, CEO of the award-winning company Comergence. And before we went on the air, Greg said he wants to be making compliance sexy. Now, Greg, those are two words I don't usually hear together in the same sentence, compliance and sexy. How are you making compliance sexy?
Oh, wow, that's a hard one to answer. But, the bottom line is, everybody thinks of compliance as very boring. So what we've done is, much like what we're doing here today, we've created a lot of videos. So we're taking the word of how to do the compliance of the particular processes that we've created, and we put those on videos, and we have a lot of fun with it. And actually had one lender came back and said, Greg, you actually made uploading of documents sexy. So that's kind of where the funny came for that.
Well, that sounds fun, and it does sound sexy in a way, but compliance is really serious business. How is the industry holding up with the compliance burden that's been put on them in the past few years?
Well, there's been a lot of having to adopt to a lot of regulations coming at them fast and furious. The good news is it appears that the pace has started to slow down and everybody can kind of take a breath and get caught up. But it just seems like every single year there's a whole plethora of new stuff that's coming down the pike. And what it's done, it's really disrupted people's businesses. They're more focused on having to update their systems and their processes, et cetera, to fall into compliance rather than actually going out and originating loans. And I think we're starting to see a better balance of that now. So we're starting to see it evening out where people can go back to doing what they do best, and that's making loans, but doing them in a compliant fashion to follow the regulations.
Well, we're not out of the woods yet, because come August of next year, it's going to be another compliance challenge going on. How do you think the industry is preparing for that?
Well, hopefully they've got enough heads up this time to actually do and start doing something about it now rather than waiting till the last minute. It just seems because there's so much of this stuff that we see a lot of folks that are literally waiting to the very last minute to address things, and that's really no way to run your business. You should really try to get out in front of it as much as possible and be ready when the date comes.
Well, speaking of business, what's new, different, and exciting at Comergence?
Well, we've taken our core business, which is dealing with the originator and the lender and stepping in between and handling that function of the compliance between the two of them and vendor relations management, and we're taking that now to appraisers. So we're now stepping in between the AMC and the appraiser, or the lender and the appraiser, and we're helping them to fall into compliance with CFPB regulations as well. And that doesn't, OCC also has their regulations for this, so do Fannie and Freddie and the and HUD. All of them say that the lender is ultimately responsible for any third-party vendor that comes in contact with the consumer, and that's now being interpreted as the relationship with the appraiser.
Do you see the compliance situation getting any better? Do you think in the coming year maybe Washington will relax the burden a bit?
Not with the administration that we currently have in place, no. I don't see any end to this.
Oh dear. Well, keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best, and hope that you can continue to make compliance sexy and fun and easy on the industry.
We're trying. It's got to be a lot more fun than a lot of people think it is. And if we can have some fun with it, then it just makes everybody's life a little easier.
Greg Schroeder, thanks very much for being with us. Phil Hall from the Mortgage News Network.
This is Mortgage News Network.